Sorry, I muted it. Now
Yes.
start.
Yes, sir. Sir, started.
Hey, the owner of name is A.B. Gupta, no?
Yes, I started, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening, guys. Very good evening to all of you. Hello. Still people are joining. Good evening. Yeah, good. I hear some good evening on the chat box. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be, addressing students of AB classes, because I been coming to AB classes, I don't know, for many years now, almost 5-6 years. And there are many students who have joined ISB&M from AB, right? Okay. What is the agenda for today? So good evening to one and all. Thank you very much. And first of all, a great opportunity to meet with you all, young, aspiring people, very, very energetic, enthusiastic about starting a career in an MBA program. Very good. So have you all registered for the MBA CAT examination, I'm sure, for this year? I wish you all the best. But I think what I'm going to start, oh, very good. I can see somebody saying yes, sir. So very good. My presentation is going to be only for about 30-35 minutes. Then I will be joined by an alumnus of ISB&M Pune. He is currently the Assistant Vice President of ICSA Prudential. He's from Raipur. He passed out, he graduated from Rajkumar College in Raipur, long ago, of course. He is my 2003-5 batch student, and currently he is busy. So I told him to join at about 5:30. He will be joining at 5:30. Okay. He will talk to you about financial services business and what it is like to be marketing in the financial service business. He's a marketing guy out and out. He'll be talking marketing. But my brief with you, for what will be true that I do conduct DD sessions and verbal ability testing and all. I've done that in KB classes, and I've always had a great pleasure talking to students in AV classes. Good, enthusiastic lot. I'm sure Guptaji has the same set of people this year too, right? You always hope to get some good candidates to study with him. Okay, my agenda for today is very simple. See, a lot of people come to do an MBA program. Okay. Today, if you see the MBA is after all a professional program. Let's understand this. Okay. It's like a chartered accountancy, maybe a company secretary, maybe a cost accountant, maybe an engineer, maybe a data analyst. But you're choosing to manage business, right? So your choice is, first of all, you want to come and join business. So I want to get some perspectives about an MBA program. My webinar, as you see, I have a presentation which I will show you. So let me start my presentation, and then we will start discussing as to what are the most important things that we really need to, talk about, right? So this is basically the so it's me, and then Gaurang will join me around 5:30. What I'm really going to discuss with you is, as I said, many people come to do a program, an MBA program, because education is not about getting a degree or getting a job. Let me tell you that. Well, education must add value. So where is the value addition? Well, We study in class 10, then go to class 12, then do a graduation, maybe BBA, maybe BCom. Some of you may do engineering, right? At the end of the day, is there value addition at all? Well, after a BBA program or a BCom program, well, you may get a job, but will you be happy with that kind of a job? No, certainly not. That's the reason why most students think that, look, I want to add value to myself. That's the reason why I want to do an MBA program. So my submission to you is, how do you add value? That's the question that I'm going to talk about. And also, you can see my talk is basically based on how do you acquire skills in an MBA program? Very, very important. Because today, if you see, you're spoiled for choices. There are more than 4,000 colleges in India, in this country, offering an MBA program. There are university programs, there are autonomous colleges, there are the IIMs. There are some well-known ones and some less well-known ones, and some absolutely not known ones, So anybody can go and get an MBA program. Is it about getting a degree? No, certainly not. Getting a degree will not help you, because I don't see a situation where I don't want to see. I know a lot of people who work with us in ISB, and I'm in the coordination department or maybe in marketing department. They did their MBA 10 years back, and if you ask them, and if you see some of them who are not only in ISBM but also across the country, there are many people who do an MBA program today. Everybody has an MBA program. But they did their MBA 10 years back and they're still earning about 30, 40,000 rupees. That means there is something that does not happen. There is no value add. It's a question of what you call, when you come for an MBA program, you must know why, what you want to do, why it must add value, and it must meet your outcomes. That is, and I'm sure all of you who want to do an MBA program right at this point, if I ask you where do you want to join, you will all name, I am Ahmedabad, I am Calcutta, or I am Bangalore. Well, I studied in I am Calcutta. Okay. I studied in I am Calcutta. I did my engineering and went to I am Calcutta after about 3-4 years of work experience. I can understand where the aspirations come from. But my I am Calcutta days were a long, long time ago. But even today, they added a lot of value to me, a lot of value to me. Now, when I say add value, now what do I mean by value? Two things. There are two things. One, does it really, when I joined IIM, or when any person, when you join an MBA program, yeah, somebody raised a hand. You have a question? Mukesh, Goel, you have a question? Hello. Asha, can I make a request to all of you? Let me finish my talk, okay? And then at the end of the session, I'll keep 15 minutes only for answering your questions. Is that fine? Is that fine, guys? Right? So what I'm planning to do is finish with my talk, and then I will devote 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever questions that you have. I will not let you, I will answer every question that you have and then discuss with you in detail, right? Let me go through with my presentation, right? And then we will take all questions, and I'll be assisted in Gaurang also will be helping you in questions. Now, when I'm talking about skill, value addition, I talked about two things. One, obviously you will not like to work for a company where your career is not growing. So ultimately, most students who want to join an MBA program look at placements very, 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 very closely. Very, very important. It's very important for you to understand this. Am I joining an MBA program where the placement is not so good? You will never join them. You will never join them. You look at now, what do you mean by good placement and bad placement? Very important for you to know. Let me share with you something. When you look at a campus placement program, many good companies visit the campuses. Many good companies. Everybody will claim, oh, Asian Paints come to us, and Bajaj Alliance comes to us, Bajaj Jana, all the top companies' name they will reel out. Britannia comes and recruits in our campus. A lot of people, Reckitt Benckiser comes and recruits in our campus. Many colleges will tell you this. But I think you must understand two things about campus placements. When value addition comes from your campus placements, 70 to 80% of your value addition in MBA program will come. What is the outcome of your whatever you learned during the 2 years must result in a good campus placement, obviously, right? Now, what do you mean by good campus placement and a bad campus placement? When it comes to placement, there are three things. One, the brand image of the company that you're joining, number one. Number two, the role that they are going to offer you. What are you going to do? What is the kind of role that they are recruiting you for? Third is the compensation. Third is the compensation. Many a time, what what you'll find is there are companies which may not have a great brand image, but we have a fantastic role for you. And the compensation will be sort of moderate, not very great, because they don't have the capacity to pay. Will you look at that? Will you look at that opportunity? In my opinion, you should, because you see, the role that you play in the initial terms of your career prepares you for very, very fast growth in future. That's what is important. Now, I'll give you an example of this. I'll give you an example. It has happened in IIM, it has happened in our college also, in ISB and MS. We had a student called Munmun Verma way back in 2003. I'm taking a very old batch because you know that 17 years of career growth you should be able to see. She's an HR student of mine, and she was in the, she was handling one of the companies which had come at that point of time called an entertainment-based company whose CEO was recruiting for media students in our college in 2003. I'm talking about. They were just about 100 odd employees in that company, and they were not going, but they were a very, very aspiring company. They wanted to grow very strong. This girl had not applied to this company, but the CEO, she was part of the placement cell. She was very impressed. He was very impressed with this girl, and he said, I would like to, I am actually looking for an HR person, and I want somebody to come and start an HR department in my company and set together policies, practices, processes for my HR and get my company launched on an HR, because we don't have an HR right now at this point of time. And the pay offered at that point of time, I'm talking about 2003, was around 2.75 lakhs or so. Obviously not a big brand, entertainment company. The person was saying, no, should I join? Should I not join? Our founder president, Dr. Kumar, advisor, she was also HR prof. He said, listen, I think you should take this offer. This is a brilliant offer. It is not about the money. Don't look at the money. Look at the role that you're creating. You are going to be independently making decisions, working directly with the CEO, and be able to form a department and putting processes in place. Guess what happened? 2 years down the line, she got an offer from AstraZeneca, which is a fifth largest pharmaceutical company in the world. All of you must have heard about AstraZeneca because they are very much in the news, because they are developing a vaccine for COVID-19 in collaboration with Oxford University and Serum Institute of India. They are the fifth largest pharmaceutical company in India. She got an offer for 8 lakhs in the year 2005. And she was working with a manager who was much senior to her. 2 years later, the manager moved to Johnson & Johnson. He pulled her away from AstraZeneca and took her in Johnson & Johnson as a package of 18 lakhs. 80 lakhs, okay? Now, 2 years later, after from Johnson & Johnson, she got an offer from Credit Suisse in Singapore as assistant vice president. She became the head of what you call director HR of Credit Suisse for the entire Southeast Asia. And in 2013, she joined Visa Resources, Visa card, the people who make cards. When she moved from Johnson & Johnson to Credit Suisse, by year 2013, her salary was close to about more than 1 crore. That for me is growth. That for me is value addition. That's value addition. A person who can take on responsibilities at that kind of level is, I think, is a very, very important. So when you, choosing an MBA program, and we are choosing a college, it's very important for you to understand not just the companies that come for placement. Okay, I'll also tell you this. Asian Paint is a very big company. It has more than 55% market share in the local domestic market, in the paints market. If you look at Asian Paints, they go to almost all campuses in India. They go to IIMs, offer 17, 18 lakh. That was about a year back, year and a half back. They come to ISBM, they offer 13 lakhs. Why? Because they have some of these companies, colleges have this tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 concept. They also go to some third-rate colleges where they pick up people as officers at a salary of 4 lakhs. That's the kind of difference. Companies visiting campus is not important. What is the role that they are offering? If you join Pepsi, big brand, very big brand, very big brand, and you say, oh, I'm so happy. They join you, take you as a sales officer trainee, package of 5 lakhs. Just guess what happens. You will never get into executive cadre even after 10 years. So when you talk about value addition, now why this value addition? Very important for you to understand the placement process in all these kind of colleges. Today, if you look at IIMs also, of course, if you see the recruitment process of IIM. Just today, I saw a news item where IIM Bangalore is saying your CAT score will have only 40% weightage. Calcutta is talking about 50% weightage to CAT score. That means even if you get 99 percentile in your CAT score, you are not assured of a seat in any of the IIM until you have very high scores in your class 10, 12 and graduation. And if you have work experience, you will get credit for that. So today, the entire game has changed. It has changed a lot. The competencies that are required has changed hell of a lot. Earlier, it was not the case. Even in IITs today, if you want to join an IIT program, it is not about your JEE score. It is also about your class 10, 12 and a class 10, 12 score. If you do have I have a student in this batch in ISB and Pune in the second year. She had a 99 percentile in CAT. She joined us. Why? Because she could not get into the IIM because her graduation score was less than 60%. She lost out. So the point I'm trying to make to you is that people value consistent performance over a period of time. This is as far as campus placements and value addition is concerned. Now, value addition, when you talk about, it's all not just about your placement. It's all about how you position yourself, how you choose your college, what are the kind of opportunities that you college to develop your own self. So what I'm talking about, the skills acquisition. So I'm now going to talk about talent versus skills. Now, what is the difference between the two? Talent is something which is innate in you. Some people are extremely well talented. For example, somebody must be very good at numbers. Okay. So when I say numbers, they may be very high scoring in mathematics. Okay. And there is another guy who is not so very good in mathematics. He's already been afraid of mathematics. He will avoid taking finance. I've seen this with students. But do I have the ability to acquire the skills of finance without having the talent? Yes. Yes. You acquire skills over a period of time by repeatedly doing something and acquire that skill. Talent is something that I take to like a duck takes to water, like a fish takes to water. That's the difference. That's the difference. But if you want to make a great career in marketing and finance, and you think that, look, you are poor in mathematics, so I don't think I will take finance, that's a very poor decision to make. Talent also cannot give you having good talent will not help you to make a great career. You have to hone your talent. You have to work on your talent. You have to build the skills. If you are talented, then build on your skills much faster. So skills and talent, they complement each other. Anybody who has talent be able to pick up the skills faster. That's just about all. That's just about all. Okay. I have a knack of speaking very well. I have the ability to communicate better. Can I become a better communicator? Can I acquire those skills? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. So you will take a long lot of time. Training, skills acquisition is purely a fusion of, I am determined to acquire this skill. Well, can I become a scientist? That's the difficult thing. Can I become a skill for becoming I don't like the subject. I don't want to be a scientist. I don't want to be working in a laboratory. When you're not interested in something, naturally you will not work hard for it, isn't it? But when you like something, but you don't have the talent for it, but you want to acquire those skills, you work hard on acquire those kind of skills. But when it comes to an MBA program, the kind of skills that you need this is what I think What you really need to do when you're in an MBA program is to build your competencies. What do I mean by that? And I'm talking about building your competencies. There are two kinds of things. I want a career in marketing. I want to be an analyst, business analyst. Again, a lot of students have very poor understanding of this, what do you call, understanding of careers in analytics. If you want to be a data science guy, don't do an MBA. If you're an engineer, you can take up a course in data science and become a data scientist, become a data analyst. You don't need an MBA. But if you want to if you are an engineer and you want to be a business analyst, then do an MBA in business. Because they're two different things. One is data analyst, another is business analyst. A data analyst, the kind of skills that are required to become a data analyst are very, very different. You need a lot of skills of what we call coding skills, software skills, and things like that. But if you want to be a business analyst, you don't need coding skills. What you need is business understanding. What are the processes in business understanding? What kind of information do I seek by analysis so that, I can take a decision? And that information, the analysis, the technical side of the analysis part will be provided to you by the data analyst. We will give you the data analysis so that you can become a better data scientist. I think this clarity must be important. Building your competencies too, I think I talk about both behavioral competencies. When I say behavioral competencies, I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about communication skills. I'm talking about analytical skills. I'm talking about ability to interact with people, interpersonal skills. Very, very important. And then in functional competency, whatever career that you want, suppose you are an engineer and you want to make a career in supply chain management, you got to be able to understand logistics. You have to be able to understand inventory management skills. You have to be able to understand optimizing of cost, right? Or if you want to be a finance, you want to make a career in finance, then you start understanding the financial market very well, right? Financial markets very well. You understand investment planning. These are the kind of skills that you will be functional competency. Or if you want to be a marketeer, you learn to do digital marketing, moment marketing, what is virtual reality, what is augmented reality, how can I promote my products using augmented reality. So the kind of skills, functional skills that you require will be very different depending upon, or if you're an HR, you will be like to become a change agent. You want to be like to become a very good performance management expert. How do you evaluate people's performance in organization? These are all functional skills, functional competency. Behavioral, of course, is generic to all managers, So that's what an MBA program is all about. Functional as well as behavioral competencies. Some common competencies, of course, these are some of the similar kind of things. I'm going to not spend much time here. I think very important for each and every one of you. I will be very talk about today. The one important thing that I want to leave you with, you should ask this question: what do companies look for in people? Very, very important question. Because when you are doing an MBA program, if you have a very clear understanding as to what do companies look for when they hire people, I think that's important for you. Okay. When you say that, I am talking about, I'll give you some examples. There is a site, it's called the Bloomberg Job Skill Survey. Okay. I welcome the author of you. They did this survey way back in 2016 or 17. What Bloomberg, all of you heard about Michael Bloomberg, right? He's a big man. Michael Bloomberg used to be the mayor of New York for a long time. Okay. And he also is very, very well known in the financial circles for his Bloomberg terminals. If you ask any financial analyst or a stockbroker, he will talk to you about Bloomberg terminals, which share financial information as a ticker, right? Now, Bloomberg did a job skill survey. Every year they used to do it. The last time that they did was 2018, I think. 2018. They said they wanted to look at some of the top call companies in the world, like Google, Amazon, and all this. And they said, when you go to campus interview for interviewing people as freshers in MBA program, what do you look for? If you see the right-hand side corner, the first quadrant, XY quadrant, positive quadrant, these are the 4 top skills that we look for, more desired by companies, but less common among people. What is it? Communication skills, leadership skills, strategic thinking, and creative problem solving. This is what he's talking about. This is what companies look for. And less common, less desired. They don't want to work with people like work experience or adaptability. More common, more desired is ability to work in teams, ability to do some good analytical thinking, right? Quantitative skills, he says, is very common among most of these MBA students who come. They learn how to do quantitative skills. They learn what do you call good number skills. So not very, very important. But this is what it is. But if you look at companies, if you look at the company, for example, I'm going to show you one or two companies so that you get an understanding. If you look at a company like Goldman Sachs, which is one of the top most, every finance graduate in IIM Ahmedabad and IIM Calcutta, Bangalore, they all look for a job at Goldman Sachs because it's like El Dorado. You get the richest. It's one of the best companies to work for, right? So what do they say? They say, oh, we look for highly motivated graduates. We require people with creativity and intellectual curiosity, relentless commitment to quality and a team mindset, but a background in finance is not necessary. Very curious, isn't it? Company which is so very good is saying that, look, I'm not really needed, right? So similarly, if you look at some of the Microsoft, all the kind of what do you call integrity and honesty, open and respectful of others, willingness to take on big challenges and see them through, committed to personal excellence. Now, my question to you is, I think Gaurang is already joining. Okay, Gaurang is already there. So I'll quickly. I have done a huge amount of research on these. Some of you heard about McKinsey, which is a top consulting company in the world. If you look at them, what they look for: competency, problem-solving ability, personal impact. When you, as a person, as a manager, when you're working with someone, do you make a personal impact with people, with the work that you do? Drive and achievement. I have a huge amount of drive to achieve things. I want to be successful. I want to do good. This, I think, is a very, very important thing. You go to any company, every one of them will ask the same thing, right? Almost all of them. Ford, okay? Everything is related with behavior. Everything is related. Ability to inspire others, passionate, innovative, energetic. So basically, if you look at skills most sought after by employees, communication skills, computer. Today's world is a very, very different world, a changing world. So the different kind of technical and computer literacy is very, very high. And of course, most of you people who are doing a CAT exam this year, they're all digital natives. We are very well versed with mobile internet technologies, I'm very sure. But this will really keep you in good stead to use digital media for many of your work practices, right? Work ethic, good interpersonal abilities, problem solving. These are the kind of things that they look for. But finally, I'm going to show you the changing world. One last slide, which I want to leave you with. A world driven by technology, disruptive innovation, replacement of traditional products and services. Look at the top 10 companies in the world today. None of them were in the top 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the most of the top companies were Exxon, Mobil in the world, Microsoft, and those are the kind of companies. Today's top 10 companies are Google, Amazon. These are the kind of companies who are in the top 10. There's a huge amount of disruptive innovation there. Traditional products and services are moved out, right? So replacement of repetitive, low-skill jobs are no longer. New business models are coming. So these skills that are declining now, you see the growing, declining occupations globally. The one on the green are the growing occupations, right? Software engineer, typically people who make great analysts, data scientists, a marketing specialist, a human resource specialist, marketing manager, human resource consultant, okay? And then these are the kind of jobs. Now, if you look at the kind of skills that are required, right? Top 10 emerging jobs in 2022. You go to the World Economic Forum, you can get this on the site, top 10 emerging jobs. You see, there are emerging roles or global change by 2022. You see, there are more than 133 million kind of jobs which will be available by 2022. And of course, this was done before the COVID. I wonder what the numbers would look like now. Okay. Look at the kind of data analysts, machine learning specialists, general operations managers, sales and marketing professionals, big data specialists, digital transformation specialists, new technology, completely new kind of jobs, organizational development specialists, information technologies services. These are the kind of jobs which are going to be in future in work and which is going to be the high paying jobs in the world tomorrow, right? So the skills out like declining jobs, though the growing skills that are required in the future, analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategy. Are you a kind of person who like to learn new things? Creativity, originality, initiative. I am able to think through a problem and come up with a differently different. creativity, technology design, critical thinking and analysis, complex problem solving, leadership. One of the biggest problems that I see in the modern world when more and more young people are glued to their communication is from short texts. They sending WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, and very quickly to people and they share. But they are losing their ability to come face to face with people with whom they don't know, and ability to develop a conversation skill with them. And that is something which is very important in business. You can't lose that skill. Okay. So high level of emotional intelligence, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. This is the 2022 skills outlook, growing skills. And now how do you acquire it in an MBA program? Okay. The talent definition is knowledge, skills, behavioral capabilities, innovation, and adaptation to change. I'm going to I think the campus experience is very important for you. Any campus that you go to, you must be actively and vigorously participating in a program, leading new initiatives, acquiring. Now, you see, our college, fortunately for us this year, we started our college on time in spite of the COVID. We have just finished our first trimester. First trimester exams are going to be held. My final year, second year batch students have just finished their fourth trimester. The exams got over and they have started the fifth trimester. All online, all online. Our ability, we have been able to quickly adapt to the changing environment and be able to, do things in a way. And so when you are in the college, I think very important for you to, there will be a placement cell, there will be a corporate relationship cell, alumni cell, marketing club, HR club, we have a finance club, everyone, some of these colleges, you must check out what is the campus experience like. What can I learn apart from my classes? What can I do? How do I lead taking new initiatives? Right? These clubs and or various student initiatives that you take up actually prepare you to learn how to take decisions yourself, how to lead a change, how to lead the job. This, I think, is very important. That where you pick up all the skills that I talked about a little while ago. Very, very important. Acquiring interpersonal skills. Because you see, when you go to your college, you're not going to find your friends from Raipur also studying with you. You might find a guy from Kashmir, you might find a guy from Chennai, another from Delhi, another from Bombay. So you have diversity of people. When you have diversity of people, you have an ability to acquire new cultural diversity. On top of that, we also have a good gender diversity. We have equal good population. Maybe 45% of the student batch are girls and for 55 about boys. So I think gender diversity is important, and also the cultural diversity is important. We develop. So when you learn diversity, you learn mutual respect. You learn how to interact. In spite of your differences, you value your differences. These are things that will really give you a great career. These are the skills that you really need to acquire. You shed your shyness, you shed your inhibition, you shed your ability to keep quiet when you're in front of a crowd. This is what the transformative experience that I talk about. So when you are talking about skills, talk about your own personal transformation. How do you bring that principle? What kind of campus experience can I get in the college that I'm going to get into? I think these are the skills that are really valued today. So when you meet people, people will be asking you, these are the kind of questions they will be asking you. Gaurang, are you there? I'm going to hand over now to Gaurang. Gaurang is my 2003-5 batch marketing student. I'm very proud of Gaurang because he had a very, very smooth and a great career growth. He started his career with Bajaj Allianz in 2005. And then after 2 years or 3 years, I don't know the exact year, he moved to what we call ICICI Prudential. He became the regional head in Eastern India for ICICI Prudential. Currently, he is the Assistant Vice President in marketing in ICICI Prudential AMC. He is in the corporate office right now. And he is a boy, very much a boy from Raipur. He graduated from Rajkumar College. Am I right, Gaurang?
Yeah, correct.
So Gaurang is going to be talking to you about marketing and what is his understanding of marketing and particularly about the financial services business. Over to you, Gaurang.
Yeah. So thank you, sir, and thank you for introducing me to the people over here. So hi and good evening, everybody, and very warm welcome to all of you. So as Jayaraman sir has already introduced, I am from Raipur. So I was brought up in Raipur. I studied in Rajkumar College and then moved on to Pune for my further studies. Uh, I'm proud to be associated with ISBNM, and it actually gave me a good stepping stone where from where I learned a lot of my skills, as Sir was talking about, and from there it helped me to grow me personally and professionally. So it contributed a lot to me. So just to talk about what I've been doing, so I joined through campus placement at Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance in Pune itself, and I was working there. Then I moved to mutual funds because mutual funds was always close to my heart, and I always wanted to be there. And that's the reason it's been like close to 13 and a half years, and I'm still with mutual fund, and I don't want to change from mutual fund. So that's the kind of commitment or passion that you can say that I had for this particular line. So that's very important for you as individuals to select which line you're passionate about, or which product category you're passionate about, or which field you're passionate about. And then it becomes very easy or smooth for you to work in that field, because every day it's not like a work kind of a thing where you push yourself to work, but because you learn new things, that keeps you pushing all the time, and that is very, very important. Like we professionals, we being so close to the market, because obviously mutual fund has to be closer to the market, because we in turn invest into the stock markets, into debt markets, and other kind of markets. So the kind of changes that keeps on happening on the market on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, that keeps on adding to your learning curve, and keeps on keeping you energized, so that you can keep on continuing and build your career over there. So while on the BFSI side, or the banking financial services side, I've been uh, in Calcutta. I was earlier where I was heading the East Zone. Then I moved to Bombay, and I look after a vertical pan India. I'm heading a particular vertical, which is handling of direct HNIs, or direct customers who invest directly into mutual funds. So we cater to close to 70,000 customers directly through a team of 250 to 300 people who are with me under my vertical, and we contribute to close to 25 to 30% of the company sales. So that is what we are doing currently into mutual fund side. So just to add on what Sir was telling about you as a professional, as how you should look at or how you should approach, definitely disruption is one of the things that is taking place, and is very much evident in the markets today. Like earlier, we used to hail taxi when I was in Calcutta, or now that I'm in Bombay. But frankly speaking, when you go out on the roads, you don't see taxis anymore. You don't see those Kali Pilis anymore, and Uber is the norm. So 5 years before, I did not hear also about what Uber is, but today without Uber, it's very difficult to sustain in life. Google Maps is another example. All the technology, the kind of disruption that has created the Zomatos, the Oyos, and all these kind of things which have created, I think it's completely a different world altogether that we are living in. And you as managers, you as professionals, you as students, I think it is very important that flexibility is the norm, and everybody needs to ensure that one should be very, very flexible in type of work that they are doing, in the kind of approach that they have, in whatever fields that you are, whether you are in the education field right now, or 3 years, 4 years down the line, when you'll be starting working as an entrepreneur, or working as a corporate job. So flexibility is a very, very important thing that you guys should look at, and that is, I think, a very, very important aspect for all of you, that you can adapt to changes. One more thing that we heard in our MBA days, and I think that continues forever, and that is to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. So that's a very important statement for every individual, as a personal capacity or professional capacity, that you should keep on learning every time. You should keep on also, there would be such situations that you have to unlearn also, and there are situations that you have to relearn also. So just talking about my example, that how things change. So earlier, mutual fund used to be a completely B2B kind of a business. So what we used to do, we used to go and meet distributors. These distributors used to be independent distributors or brokers, as you would call, as bankers. Suppose people in HDFC Bank or an ICICI Bank or an Axis Bank, where people sell all kind of mutual funds which are under the sun, or it could be institutional kind of investors who are like the ITCs or the Reliance Industries of the world, who directly come and invest with mutual fund. So earlier the life used to be 100% a B2B kind of a business for any mutual fund company, which I would talk maybe 5 years from now. But in the last 5 years, so much has changed that over from a 100% B2B company, we've become 75% B2B company and 25% B2C company. So the company had never thought about reaching out to the customers directly, of having a B2C vertical, of reaching out to customers on a direct platform. And that has changed overnight over the last 3 to 4 years, because yes, one, there was a regulation change also, and the way we used to think has changed a lot. We used to be dependent all the time on a broker or a intermediary to give us money into my mutual fund. But then we thought that why we should be dependent on him, and why not we reach out to our customers directly and source and talk to them about our funds, talk to them about our market recommendations, and talk to them about how good our mutual funds are doing. So that is how the entire landscape has changed. And over the last 5 years, from being a 100% B2B company, we've changed to be a 75% B2B company and 25% a B2C company. So that's a massive, massive change in BFSI segment that happens. And especially there is a disruption over here also. So now if you see, if you download apps like a Zerodha app or a Grow app or a ET Money app or a Paytm, you'll find all mutual funds listed over there, who are selling direct kind of a plans of mutual funds to all the customers that they have. So this is very, very different. 8 years back, we never used to think about a mutual fund investment without a proper documented KYC, without a application form, without a signature of the customer and all those kind of things. But now today, through online platforms, through online websites that we've created, it can all happen digitally. And today, digital has become such an empowering thing, that 90% of the transactions in a mutual fund company is today happening digitally. Even the KYC people come and they are just doing it on the video, and video KYC is happening, which was unimaginable 7 years or 6 years before. So that's the rapid way the whole landscape is changing. And I think you guys should also look at the way things are changing, and you should adapt to those kind of changes. Uh, Obviously, you'll be going ahead choosing your institutes, choosing your companies in the coming days, in the coming years. I think it's very important that one should have the expectations right. A lot of times that we meet fresh graduates from out of B2B schools or out of any institutions, good institutions, and the expectation is that on day one they want to become a fund manager. They want day one, uh, they like a lot of good jargons, like I want to be a marketing analyst, I want to be a financial analyst, I want to be a fund manager, I want to be a risk manager. All those jargons looks very good, and I think a lot of people or students get swayed away by these kind of jargons. But I think being closer to the expectations, or having your expectations right is a good way to start with. Because at the beginning, definitely, till the time you don't do a grassroots level work, it's very, very difficult to sustain on the top. So like 10 years, 13 years back, when I joined ICICI Pru, I was an RM only, which is a relationship manager. And I used to go places. My whole day used to be like visiting 5 distributors and selling to them about mutual funds. And that is how the day used to go like. And that is a very grassroots kind of a job that you'll be, that, that, uh, that you are listening from me. Or even if you ask any guy from an IM also passing out and joining an HUL or any kind of thing, they'll be put into first year, they'll be put into Tata Ace, and they'll be told to go with people and go and visit hundreds of their distributors spread across the country and try to learn from there. So I think having a right expectation is also right, that you need to learn, but learning has to happen from the initial levels. On day one, you can't expect that, yes, you land up at a very middle management or a senior management kind of a position. So I think that is very important, that the expectations are right. Apart from that, I think whatever sir was talking about behavioral things, about participation, about competencies, about problem solving, that I think that is a part of the DNA of a person which you people uh, are equipped with, and maybe over a period of time with experience you will be honing that skills or sharpening those skills. So I think that is very, very important for you people. One very good thing that I liked is about the participation. So when I was in ISBM, and there used to be events like HR Share, where we used to call various dignitaries or various HR heads from various companies. We used to do some crescendos where we used to organize various marketing activities, go to companies seeking for sponsorships, and do something. At that point of time, I used to think, yeah, what is this? What will I gain from it, or what will I learn from it? But believe me, all those kind of things keeps adding up, and those help you, which in a way that you'll not even come to know, and that actually helps you in negotiation, in understanding, knowing the people, understanding people well, about the whole ecosystem, and that helps you in each and every sphere of your life. So I think being in an MBA institute, just sitting in the library and sitting books is not going to help. You have to come out as an overall manager with a very good communication skills, because today, even if you have a brilliant idea, but if you can't communicate, your idea is of no use. So I think a very good communication skills, a good extrovertness, a good kind of compatibility, teamwork, all that is very, very important, and that can only happen once you open up a little more, you participate a little more, and thereby only it helps you into developing as an overall individual. So I think that is what I had to share with all of you. The world is changing, and the pace at which the world is changing is very, very fast. So earlier, the generation gap used to be like my father and me, which is like a gap of maybe 40 years or 30 years. But now what we are seeing is the generation gap is just 10 years. So every 10 years, the whole generation changes, the whole idea changes, the whole way to think changes, and the whole way to imbibe or way to comprehend things changes. So the world is changing very, very fast, and I think you guys should also be equipped enough so that you can face the world in the coming years. So I think with that, I'll close my talk. Anything that you have to ask, I think maybe a sir is there, and we are there, so we can answer that.
Okay, thank you so much, Gaurang. It was very nicely said, and I'm sure the students. I really welcome students to come out with some questions regarding whatever you want to know regarding your maybe your when I talked about skills and competencies, it's a very niche kind of a thing where one has to work towards it. Unless you work towards it, you will not be able to build those kind of competencies. As I said, just a degree from a good college is fine, but you also need to work towards building your own skills and competencies, and that is what will give you and land you up in a career where I talked about. 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, you want to be CEO of a company, start thinking now. Aspiration levels have to be built from here, and then start working towards it. And if you chose the right place to study, and the right place to study based on your understanding of the campus experience that you go through, that can give you a transformative experience, then obviously your career will be made without any problem whatsoever. Any questions, guys? Any questions? No? Anyway, by the way, how are you guys doing your training for CAT? Yeah, that's also online. Is that also being done online? No questions. Oh, okay. That is being done online. Oh, very good. So, how do you find this online experience for you? Learning CAT examination preparation online. How is it going for you? Good. Okay, very good. Your exam is when? Your exam is in November, right? November. Okay. Any questions regarding MBA program and careers? Anything that you want to talk to us about? Most welcome. Good question. Is coding essential for MBA placement? Certainly not. Certainly not. If you are a coder, and you like coding and you have a computer engineering background and then you do it, then uh, uh, obviously it's good. But you don't necessarily have to learn coding like a coder does. For example, if you have an IT company specialist and you are a coder, but learning coding can give you a lot of an edge, because if you learn Python, a lot of people today pick up Python and R skills. Now, coding is definitely required in the field of analytics to some extent. To some extent, yes. For analysis, it will help you. It will help you. If you don't know it, but it is not a must. It is not a must. Yeah, basic coding language. What do you mean by basic coding language? Are you talking about Python? Are you talking about some of the later coding? When you say basic coding language, I only think that look today, yeah, C++, not necessary. It will not be required for you to do what. So please understand, no, it's not required. You don't have to be a coder. You don't have to know C++ when you are 25. Good question. How can we hone our interpersonal skills? Okay, very good. The very good question. Okay, you see, a lot of people have a natural flair. When I say interpersonal skills, what is interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills, my ability to relate with someone. Please, the difference between a friend and a colleague at work. When you have a friend with whom you grew up in school, the kind of things that you share with him as a friend, you may not like to share with a colleague at work. There is a big difference. So when I'm talking about interpersonal skills, I am talking about skills related with developing professional relationship with people inside the world. And how to develop it? The only way to develop it is finding areas of common interest, finding areas where I can start a conversation with someone, learning how to get. Now, a lot of people, except their work, they don't know anything around the world. How do I start my conversation with the person who cannot talk anything other than work? Obviously, you will be a very boring guy, isn't it? So anybody who has a what do you call, is very important. Sir, taking experience in network marketing is helpful in MBA. Yeah, network marketing. When you look at it, if you look at one of the best examples of network marketing is Amway. A lot of students I know try to make a quick buck and going into network marketing. Well, it will help you to network. Very, very important. And if you are going to be a marketing person and a business person, and if you want to become an entrepreneur someday or the life in your lifetime, definitely, a good amount of interpersonal and networking, social networking skills, it will stand you in great stead. It will definitely help you in a big way. Any other question? Gaurang, you want to take some questions? What is the future of pursuing? Can I do an MBA going into data analysis and business analysis? Then what are the required skills? Okay. There are many questions. Sir, is accuracy has major effect on cat paper? Yes, very much, very much. See, because when you are talking about answers to a particular question, either you are right or wrong. There is no in-between answer. Accuracy is very important in cat. What is the scope of MBA in hotel management and what all does it involve? Let me tell you one thing. People who, whatever background they may come from, hotel management, engineering in mechanical engineering, or a MBA in English, please, when you come to study business, focus on business. An MBA in hotel management, forget about your hotel management degree at all, completely, in my opinion. When you come to do an MBA, you should be able to manage any business, whether it is a finance business, whether it is a logistic business, whether it is a hotel business, whether it is a retail business. Well, it may give you some amount of help in terms of what you call, if you want to again go and join a hotel, please do not go do an MBA program keeping this in mind. Many students come to me and say, sir, I'm a mechanical engineer, I love cars. Can I get after an MBA, can I join an automobile company? I said, you need not have come to do an MBA at all. It was not necessary, right? If you like automobiles and you want to get into a car, go and work after an engineering in a company. You don't need it. When you come to do an MBA, forget about your undergraduation level. Well, it will definitely add. If you have done a BCom and you have learned how to create a balance sheet, that will help you in the what do you call A. But you need not necessarily seek a career in hotel management after an MBA. After an MBA, you must be able to get into any business of your choice. You can also get into, like Gaurang said, financial services business, which is a very high paying job. Can MBAs go into data analysis and business analysis? Yes, absolutely yes. Not data analysis, but most business analysis. There is a big difference between data analysis and business analysis. A data scientist, a business analyst actually does data analysis, but he is not a data scientist. Please understand this. There is a big difference between being a data scientist and a business analyst. A business analyst learns to deal with data, learns to deal with data, but he does not get into coding. He does not learn Tableau. He does not learn Hadoop. He does not have to deal with data visualization tools, right? He doesn't have to do all that. As long as you are able to work with those kind of tools, somebody else prepares it for you, and you're able to cut some how what to, example, you may ask this question: how to store data? How do I deal with big data? No, you don't have to know that. You need to know how to get information out of this big data, which is what the data scientist job is. As a business analyst, you are more interested in decision making. Where should I invest my money? What is the kind of return that I will get in this particular end? Gaurang, would you like to add something on this? Unmute, Gaurang.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, so investing is actually very interesting, but to answer you, where should you invest your money right now? I think
No, that's not a question. The question is, should we get into business analytics? Suppose when you do a lot of analytics in your job, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you do as an analyst?
So as an analyst, we create a lot of data points. So suppose I have a customer. So we create close to, if not less than 80 to 100 various data points on that particular customer, or his investing pattern, on his investing behavior, about his age, about his profile, all that thing we try to create within. And for that, we also use a lot of outside vendors also who are specialized into this. So suppose, for example, what I've heard is like a Facebook out of your profile, they create some close to 1600 various data points, and that helps in winning elections also for people. So that's the kind of scope. For financial company, we create a complete digital footprint. So for a particular customer, we can in fact track that a particular customer who's come to my website, he was browsing, his mouse was browsing at some, maybe a particular large cap fund. Then he closed my website, and then he went onto a website of a car company, and he was searching for some car over there. So that kind of digital footprint also analytics is possible in today's world. And thereby then we can create some marketing campaign for those set of customers, talking to them about how they can save and grow money, and thereby go and buy a car.
No, I think Gaurang, just sorry to stop you. The question that the person is asking, can MBAs go into data analysis and business analysis? If yes, then what are the required skills? What I am trying to tell them is to learn to interpret data and the results of an analysis. You do not go and sit and do analysis. That's the question there. That's what I'm trying to say. The question is the skill that you really need to learn is to how to interpret data and the results of an analysis so that you can take a decision. That's it. That's
exactly. So that can happen. And if you're, as a person, if you feel that yes, you are very good with data and very good with data interpretation, then definitely a person can pursue that, and MBA will help you in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, okay. Now, then, what is the future? There's one good question that I see. What is the future of pursuing a finance and MBA when there is AI is growing? Good question. Very good question. See, when you're doing more and more AI, what he's talking about, AI is taking over quite a lot of typically what is called machine learning. Many of these routine jobs like analysis and all that are slowly getting into AI. So what will happen is when you take up a finance in MBA, you are not going to lose any opportunity whatsoever. AI will only help you to make better decisions. That's it. A finance in MBA is about interpreting the results of an analysis and taking an optimal decision making. Future of finance in MBA will definitely grow. Irrespective of whether there is AI or not. You will not be an analyst, but you will be a decision maker. Decision making is what you need. That for which you need to pursue your understanding of finance. For example, if Gaurang was talking about mutual funds, there are more than 3,000 mutual funds in this country. Where should I put my money? AI will give you some reports, but ultimate decision has to be taken based on your understanding of finance, isn't it? So that I think is very important. Interpreting is more important. Somebody else also raised a question. What other question I a little while ago? Any other question, guys? Have I answered all the questions? Okay. Do having a great vocabulary help? Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very good. Good point. Well, something that will definitely make you a much better speaker. You never have to grow for words. You'll always have the right word to talk about, and you make a better impact when you have a good vocabulary. Yes. Please suggest any courses before entering B schools. Uh, a good school, as far as I'm concerned, when before you enter a B school, two things you must definitely do. Your skills in what you call, Excel skills, MS PowerPoint, Excel skills. Take a course on, there is a Coursera course available on Maguire University where they give you 4 courses on basic Excel, advanced, intermediate Excel 1, intermediate Excel 2, and advanced Excel. At least try and finish intermediate Excel 2. That will really be of great help to you when you get into your B school. If you knowing very good Excel before getting into your school, it will help you a big, big, big way. How can I make out, sir, financial MBA is good. What are their background? Well, if you are to do a MBA in finance, and obviously a good background would be, it doesn't matter what background you come from. If you're a BCom guy, of course you'll find it much easier to understand financial accounting and cost accounting and things like that. But if you're an engineer or a BBA and you do not have much good background in finance, you may have to learn a little bit more than what the BCom guy will do. But don't worry about your background. You may have to put in greater amount of effort. If you want to make it in finance, don't worry about your background. As long as you have the end to become a financial, you want to do an MBA in finance, by pursue it with all vigor. No problem. You can always acquire the new skills. How can I make out whether I will be great as a marketing manager or human resources? Both these fields interest me. Oh, very good. Doesn't, Vidhi Chaube, a good question. As far as I'm concerned, don't worry about what kind of a role you want to play in the organization. Because you see, each one of them is a different role. The marketing manager plays a different role in the organization, and the HR manager plays a different role in the organization. The question that you need to ask is, what roles do they play? What do they play? If you look at a marketing manager, it's more about branding, communication, ability to what they call digital marketing. Whereas an HR guy is more about organization building, ability to identify talented people and bring them into the organization. These are the kind of things HR managers do. So whatever interest you should take it. And if you are, and take both, and then after the third trimester, after you have taken both the subjects in the first, second trimester, change your subject, change your specialization in the third trimester. That is what I would suggest to you. So what one should do to get the most out of a B school in order to add values? Good question, Rupendra. My suggestion to you is, don't become a bookworm. Don't read all the time and try to get an A+ grade all the time. Okay. While it is good as a grade, well, grades are important. Grades are very important. But also, if you are some of the areas that you need to work on your own personal traits and things like that. If you are a very shy person, if you are very inhibited, if you are not afraid of, if you are afraid of taking decisions, if you do not like to take initiative when be the first one to bed, work on all those kind of things. And that is what is more important. Because I have always seen people with average and above average grades do very well because they communicate very well, they relate with people very well, they do not hesitate to take a decision, they show a lot of leadership ability, they like to take up initiative, they go and stand up for those kind of initiatives that they want to do, and that is what is more important for you. That if you want to get out of more of a B school, participate in all things outside the classroom also. That's what I would say. Okay. Sir, being the director of a reputed B school, what do you seek in a CAT aspirant in a personal interview? Very good question. See, I tell you what, fortunately, if I look at it, see, I've also, what do you call, interviewed people in various schools and various colleges, and marks, we give only weightage to about 30-40%. 60% of the weightage is to the person. If I had to look at you as a person and if you are seeking admission into my school, I will say, what is your aspiration level? Do you come and tell me, sir, I am looking for a job which will give me 15 lakhs as a campus placement? I said, that's the guy I want. A guy who has very high aspiration and he is willing to work towards it, who has good communication skills, who has excellent in terms of what you call interpersonal skills, who comes across as a thinking person, good leadership initiative. Suppose you don't have any of this, but you have high aspirations and you're willing to work hard, I will take you. And I'm willing to take you. Because you will always be like to what you call work with us because of the fact, I think the very important fact is your aspiration is what drives you. That's your motivation. Training is my job, is our job. We train you to get people. That's what we're talking about. Good. Yes, ISBM cutoff for CAT. We really don't have a cutoff. If we look at a cutoff, it will be around today in the modern world. In what we see, we look at the class 10, class 12 scores, graduation scores. CAT score, we give a percentage weightage of only around 30-40%. We do not give so much weightage to CAT score. So cutoff is not really important. You can come up with a cutoff at about 65-70. We still look at you, but we look at other things. How you come across as in the interview process is very important for us. That is right. Cutoff 65-70, you must be able to get an interview call. Sir, academic does matter for getting admission in B school? Yes, today, yes. Very poor, what do you call, academics, you can't get into some of the B school. Today, see, look at this. You look at a CBSE score, class 12 score. People get 99 percentile, 98 percentile. A guy who gets 98 percentile can't get admission in a Delhi college. You know that? All the top 5 colleges, St. Stephen's, okay, Sriram College, none of them will take people. Their cutoff is around 99 percentile to 100 percentile also. Now, that's the kind of thing that is happening. So anybody whose grades are very poor, less than say 60-70%, will definitely have a some kind of what you call disadvantage. But when you come to, but if you've done well in CAT and you have recently got about 75-80%, 70% and above scores in your class 10, 12, today you should be able to do well. Well, it does matter in the admission process in the B school. Yeah. Any other question? Any other question? I see all the questions are coming in chat. Okay, all the questions are. So please send all your questions on chat. Have I answered all the questions? I think I have. I think I have. Any other question, guys? No? So I think we have done for the day. Thank you very much, AB classes, for inviting me to speak. Thank you, first of all, Gaurang, for coming and taking off. He's a very busy man. Let me tell you, he's in the financial services business. And he had to get half an hour of his time was very difficult. Somehow I told him, come for at least half an hour. Okay, and he's one of the top AMC companies in the country. ICC AMC has always had some very good ISBMites in that day. In fact, their vice president HR was a student of mine, 2002-4 batch, Pooja Biani. Okay, so and Gaurang, I wish you all the best, Gaurang. I'm sure you'll keep growing in your career. And thank you very much for coming for this seminar. And I thank all the students who had so many questions, good questions. And I wish I could, answer all your. I could answer all your questions. And I hopefully, when the things become all right, I will come to AB classes in January. Hopefully, I love coming there, and I love talking to students there. By the time I think your CAT results will be out, and you have to prepare for your interview, I'll help you. Don't worry. I'll help you for your interview. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Gaurang, thank you.